Welcome to Adventure, the show with guests who truly push their lives to the limits. No talking heads here, just the real deals. I'm Jim Clash. In the 1960s, Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy pioneered the famous San Francisco psychedelic sound. Last time they discussed their work in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group Jefferson Airplane. This time they discussed their ongoing project, Hot Tuna. Welcome, Jorma.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Welcome back, Jack.
It's great to be here.
Last time we talked a lot about the airplane. I could talk forever about the airplane.
We could too.
Yeah, I'm sure. But now let's move on to Hot Tuna. Now, Hot Tuna, you guys really started doing that before the airplane disbanded, correct?
About
Oh,
1968, just about 40 years ago.
And the airplane was together till what, 72?
72, right. 65 to 72.
So Hot Tuna came out, what you guys would play afterwards, after the gigs, and how did it happen?
During the gig, we shared some gigs. Sometimes we opened up to the airplane, you know, and we just started. In those days, Jorma and I would right out here on these streets of New York, we used to carry our guitar everywhere. We never went any place without a guitar in your hand, or I had a bass and he had a guitar. And as we'd jam at different clubs after shows that we had, we were always prepared, and we had material, unlike a lot of people that jammed. And that was a way that we would play and sit in with people and work material over that we had worked on in hotel rooms and whatnot. And then it eventually became, hey, let's book an actual tour. And then we had to come up with a name, I remember, just before we released our first album. They said, "You guys have a name yet?"
I actually remember where we were driving on St. Mark's. We were in a station wagon, Ford LTD, I believe. And,
traveling in style. And of course, those things with the back end down like this, you know.
And somebody, I forget, we were talking about that Blind Boy Fuller song, "Keep on Truckin' Mama," and somebody mentioned one of the lines, "What's that smell like, fish, oh baby?" And some wit in the car went, "Hot Tuna." Went, "Well, that's a great name for a band," and there you are.
And you know, like most musicians, without deadlines, you'd never even show up to the gig, you know. So in this case, we had recorded our first album, and so Hot Tuna is the band.
Explain a little bit about the differences between the airplane. The airplane was more of an electric folk sound.
Right.
Tuna's more of a folk sound, or am I?
Well, and we've gone through a lot of different incarnations, but when we started out, as Jack said, we did a lot of wandering around with our instruments, avoided an identity crisis also. But what the original Hot Tuna thing started to come out, it was really him playing electric bass with me playing acoustic guitar. Excuse me, a lot of people do that today, but at the time it was an oddity.
Yeah.
And I think that the first Hot Tuna record, the Live in New Orleans House, is one of these things that really bears the test of time well. I mean, I'm very proud of that work. But in any case, and we just did this, and so when we didn't have a band, so when we got the deal to make a record for RCA, we decided we'll do the acoustic thing. And every song on that first record, except for the two that I wrote myself, were songs I learned from the guy that taught me to play, Ian Buchanan. Should have dedicated the record to him because he was so responsible for it. But I mean, once again, we never planned that it was going to become the thing that it was,
yeah.
And then it became a thing. And I remember the first time that I remember us doing something with the airplane was at the Fillmore East.
Yeah, down on 6th and
correct.
2nd Avenue.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And just Paul goes, "Well, why don't you guys play something?" And we went, "Okay." And I wandered up with my acoustic guitar on a microphone. I didn't have pickups on it like they do today, and Jack played bass, and the crowd liked it.
I've heard that you guys are the odd couple of rock and roll music.
I've heard that.
Which one is which? Who's Felix and who's Oscar?
Take a wild guess.
I would guess that you're Oscar and that, Jack, you're Felix.
Somewhat.
In what way?
Well, for instance, sometimes I just have to know what day it is.
Look at this.
You know?
Thursday on your socks?
That's right, and it is Thursday as we.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
A friend of mine, as a joke, gave me this because he's a fairly anal fellow too.
It wasn't a joke. He knew exactly what he was doing.
And we laughed so much that and it turned out to be good socks. The amazing thing is, of course, that when I find myself, you know, at odds, if I don't have the right sock for the right day, it's tough, you know. And
What would happen if you
and
were to
and,
mix
and
the
as
days?
as your son asked me the other day, Zachary, he says, what happens when it becomes midnight? Do you change your songs?
Good point.
Do you?
I'm not telling. It's way too traumatic.
You both are very understated, very low key about the impact you guys had on music. I mean, really, the San Francisco sound
Yeah.
was you guys. I mean,
Well, we're
do
part
you
of
realize?
There
Do
was
you
some-
realize
there
the
was a
impact
lot of
you guys
people
had
that
on rock
did, yeah.
music?
I mean, the answer is yeah, but the thing is, there's a lot of different ways, and I mean, just for me, just because of how I am, it would sound a little bit self-important to go, wow, we created.
San Francisco soul.
Right, but a lot of, I mean, we're certainly a big part of it. I understand that. And one of the things that happened, we were working in Italy a couple of years ago. We were doing a blues festival, the Alcamo Blues Festival in Sicily, and the one of these couples who was the promoters of the show, we were having dinner together, and she said, "I just want you to know how important what all you guys, not just us, but the whole scene did
Sure.
in our lives." And I went, "Wow," and I was wow, that was important, you know. So I guess that's good. I mean, it is good. But I don't think it's not something you can go around thinking about too much because it's a long time ago.
Well, I'm going to end on sort of an up note, if I can. I'm going to put on these glasses, which Jack, you inspired me to buy many years ago in the Jefferson Airplane. Now,
Looking good,
what do you
buddy.
think?
I
Is that a
think-
JA look?
It's pretty good.
I think I
it's,
can
it's
see
pretty
I
good.
think I see a
this.
headband.
What do you think? Yeah, there could be a headband up there.
Yeah.
And since you're wearing his prescription, I can only imagine what you're really seeing.
For more iconoclasts and adventures, see Forbes.com/tothelimits or pick up a copy of my book, To the Limits. And thanks for watching the Forbes.com Video Network. Clash, James Clash.